welcome to your very last Breakout in a Box. I have Brendan here to help me out today, and we're going to dive in and see what kind of goodies you have in your box for this month. Well, you have your directions. Don't forget to pull those out. Keep those aside. You have some treats, some little bunny grams, because, you know, Easter. Oh, Brendan's excited about the marshmallows. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to build with marshmallows because April's theme is all about bridges, which is really interesting. For Easter, we talk about bridges. Well, that's because Jesus is our bridge. Jesus connected us people back to God. So you're going to build some structures, build some bridges with your marshmallows and your toothpicks. And Brendan is very excited to show you that everybody's getting a dozen candy-filled Easter eggs. And there's a fun game that you can play along with your family if you want to. Is there anything else in there? Oh, you're going to need that for later. Oh, you have some fun color sheets. Save those for later. Some fun color sheets just to practice your memory verse. Okay. And, oh, you have your devotion time. So your God times pages that you use for your devotions. Okay, turn around. All right, to get started today, first things first is a song. Will you stand up and sing with us? We're going to sing Oh Happy Day because it is such a happy day that Jesus is alive. Here we go.
Oh, happy day, happy day. You wash my sin away. Oh, happy day, happy day. I'll never be the same.
The greatest day in history. Death has beaten, you have rescued me. Sing it out, Jesus is alive. The empty cross, the empty grave, life eternal, you have won the day. Shout it out, Jesus is alive. He's alive. Oh, happy day, when you wash my sin away. Oh, happy day, I'll never be the same. Forever I am changed. When I stand in that place, free at last, meeting face to face, I am yours, Jesus, you are mine. Endless joy and perfect peace, earthly pain finally will cease. Celebrate, Jesus is alive. He's alive. Oh, happy day, when you wash my sin away. Oh, happy day, I'll never be the same. Forever I am changed. And oh, what a glorious day, what a glorious way, my Lord, that you have saved me. And oh, what a glorious day, what a glorious name, Jesus. Oh, happy day, you wash my sin away. Oh, happy day, I'll never be the same. Oh, happy day, when you wash my sin away. Oh, happy day, I'll never
activity number 2. Let's hop to it. Get out your bunnygrams and let's enjoy a snack. Activity number 3 is actually a video. So you're going to enjoy your snack as you're watching your Va video, which is all about God's big story and how he planned for Jesus from the very beginning. Let's take a look.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how he created us and loves us so much that he made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story. Inspired by the entire Bible.
In the beginning, God created a magnificent paradise, and everything in it was good. He created water and land and plants and trees and birds and fish and animals. And then, from the very dust of the earth, God created a man called Adam. He created a woman called Eve. They were the first 2 people on earth, made in God's image, living peacefully in paradise. Adam and Eve were friends with God, but then they made a terrible choice. God had given Adam and Eve one rule.
You must not eat the fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. If you do, you will certainly die.
But the temptation was too great for Adam and Eve. They broke God's rule, and what was once a paradise became a broken world. People started telling lies.
It was the woman you put here with me. She made me eat it.
Brother fought against brother.
No!
Selfishness spread through generations. When there had been peace in the garden, now there was pain and sin and death separating people from their Creator. But God had a plan to make peace once again with the people he loved so much. Hundreds of years after Adam and Eve broke his rule, God chose a man named Abraham and said,
All nations on earth will be blessed because of you. Look up at the sky. Count the stars if you can. That's how many children will be born into your family.
So Abraham had a son, Isaac, and Isaac grew up to have 2 sons of his own, Jacob and Esau. And those 2 sons had children of their own. Jacob, who God renamed Israel, he himself had 12 sons. So God had given Abraham a huge family just like he promised. But God's people, the Israelites, were still lost and broken, separated from him. They still did not have peace. They didn't have peace when God rescued them from slavery in Egypt, when God led them through the Red Sea to escape their enemies.
Okay, great. But what are we supposed to eat out here in the desert? Sand?
The nation of Israel didn't have peace when God gave them a new law.
These commandments are hard. We want a king like all the other nations.
They didn't even get peace when God gave them a king.
The king's laws are no fair. We want a new God, like all the other nations.
Nope, nothing gave God's people lasting peace. They were still lost and broken and separated from God for thousands of years. But God had not forgotten the promise he made to Abraham.
All nations on earth will be blessed because of you.
God still had a plan to show the people just how much he cared for them. He knew this broken world would never be able to rescue itself, so God made a way. God sent his son, Jesus, to bring peace on earth once and for all. Jesus grew up and he taught people love and compassion, forgiveness and grace. He healed the sick and befriended the outcasts. He saw what was wrong and made it right. He loved the world and its people so deeply he gave his life on a cross to pay for the sins of the whole world.
Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing.
In Colossians, the Apostle Paul tells us God made peace through Christ's blood, through his death on the cross. When Jesus chose to give up his life, he paid the cost of every sin ever committed and every sin that had yet to be committed. People no longer had to be separated from God. But in the 3 dark days immediately following Jesus' death, his followers didn't understand all of that yet. They huddled in the dark, afraid that they too might be arrested or even killed.
Who's there?
Early on the morning of the 3rd day, Mary Magdalene arrived at the home where the disciples were staying.
They have taken the Lord out of the tomb. We don't know where they have put him.
The disciples stared at each other in shock. Then, Peter and John lunged for the door. They raced each other all the way back to the tomb where Jesus had been placed.
The tomb really is empty.
There are the linen cloths they wrapped him in.
Peter and John returned home, still uncertain and confused. And Mary Magdalene, who had followed them, stayed behind in the garden. And as she wept, she noticed a man standing nearby. And at first, she thought he was the gardener.
Sir, did you carry Jesus away? Tell me where you put him.
Mary.
The instant the man spoke, Mary Magdalene knew immediately who he was. It was Jesus, alive again.
Teacher!
Overjoyed, Mary returned to the disciples to share the incredible news.
I have seen the Lord!
It was true. Jesus had come back from the dead. He's more powerful than sin, more powerful than death. And through him, we can have peace with God and work toward peace with others, as God intended from the very beginning.
Okay, activity number 4 is your parent guide. So pull out your sheet that looks like this, and you're going to work together with your family through these activities. Peace or no peace? That is the question. You're going to talk about the Bible story today. There is a prayer here, so if you want to use those prayer words, you can use those words, or you can always use your own words to pray. And we have our memory verse. Brendan and I are going to do it. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Whoops, now you can't see it. Are you ready? So let us do all we can to live in peace. And let us work hard to build up one another. And that's in Romans. So you guys can work on memorizing that one too. All right, off you go with your family activity. Okay, activity number 5 is your family challenge. Are you up for the challenge? Where are all of my engineers at? Here's your challenge. You are going to build a bridge across the troubled waters. Ooh. You can use the bridge building sticks that come in your box. And I'd also encourage you to find any other supplies that you might have around your house to use. Maybe some plastic cups, maybe some toothpicks, maybe some popsicle sticks, maybe some empty vegetable cans, maybe some paper clips. I don't know, get creative. Use whatever you can, whatever supplies you have to build a bridge across the water and work together as a team, working together to keep the peace, right? Putting others in front of you. Okay, friends. Off you go. I'd love to see pictures of your bridges. Okay, friends, you've made it to activity number 6. You are almost done. Now is the time to share your pictures or videos. I would love to see how your family memorized this month's memory verse, or how you got creative with building a bridge across the turbulent water. You can do that in a couple of ways. You can send it directly to me, or you can post it to our Facebook page, Breakout Kids Club, and I would love to see those pictures. Now, that gets you entered into a family drawing. This is our last month of doing Breakout boxes, and I've had so much fun doing it with you, but this is your last chance to win that family prize. So, how do you get entered for the family prize? You post your pictures or videos. That's right. We're going to do the giveaway on Friday, April 30th. If you tune in live on Facebook at 7 p.m., Friday, April 30th is when we'll do that giveaway. All right. That's it. It's the last Breakout box. Hope you had a great one, and we'll see you soon.